Hey, what's going on, guys? I know it's been a little while, so I know some of you may not even remember that I was even working on this custom build, but remember that Vigna Ghina I was working on, or the Vigna Ghina II RE kit that I was customizing into the Vigna Ghina? Well, that's completely done. I've just been waiting to finish the base for this, so that's what we're going to do in this video. And I've done, like, I think probably 1 or 2 videos on this before, already going over kind of like how I make these custom bases here with just this little tray wood box thing here from the Daiso, or just like the dollar store. And just cutting a piece of plot plate just to set inside there for the base. But I'm going to do this one a little bit differently, so that's why I want to show it to you guys. I saw this on Twitter. This Japanese builder had made this kind of marble tile floor looking kind of base, and I wanted to try making that. So basically it was simple enough. All you do is you have the one base piece, and then you have the second piece that will go over the top of that. And the second piece is where we're going to carve the lines to make it look like tile, and then you can like break it a little bit, break up the corners. I think it's just gonna like push it up through the corners basically to make it look like a couple of little tiles are a little bit broken on like the corner, something like that. So it's gonna be pretty simple, and then I'm gonna try to give it a kind of marble looking paint job on that, which will be a separate next step. So let's just do this here. I've already cut the pieces out. They are fitting in here sort of well. I need to sand the edges, but I'm gonna wait till it's all done and get the edges all sanded up once these are glued together. But for the time being, I can stick one over to the side, and we're just going to draw some lines in this one. Now, I don't want to make it completely straight square. I'm going to make it a little bit of an angle. So I'm just going to use this the ruler here as the guide. It's probably going to be hard to see, but I'll try to show this to you. I'm just going to make the lines just like that, so that they're just deep enough. And then a couple of them I'm going to make deep enough that they cut all the way through, so that way I can punch out the corners of them to make it look like broken tiles. So let me just get all the lines down here first. Alright, so the lines are drawn and broken up a couple of the corners. Glued some of the broken pieces down, and it's just going to be kind of hard to see now that it's like this. So I'm going to go give this a coat of primer, and then that way we can kind of get a better look at how it's looking so far. I have a feeling it's not really maybe looking its best, but it's a good first attempt, so let's just check it out anyway. Alright, so that's better now. You guys can see that a little bit better now that there's primer on there. So yeah, after drawing the lines, then I just bent up a couple of these corners there, broke off the pieces, glued them down, and then for these little bits of kind of like dust particles on there, these little bits, I wanted to look like sort of just little tiny stone fragments or dust kind of around there. Basically what I did is just take some Tamiya thin cement, just dab some down, and just take some of this just plastic dust here on my desk, just little pieces from just the drawing the lines, scribing the lines, just makes all this little plastic dust like that, these little tiny particles. So just dab some glue on there, and then just sprinkle the particles on there to make these little bits of just kind of loose little small pebbles, I guess, sort of looking bits on there. So that is looking pretty good. So I just got the 2 layers there just put on top of each other for the time being. So I'm just gonna then I can just glue these together, so then that will make a kind of lower level under the broken part. So this will be then able to fit into there like that for our base. And I'm just gonna paint this. Now, painting marble, that is a whole other thing. So the steps to paint marble styling, as far as I can tell, seem pretty simple, but this is going to be my first time actually trying it. Basically, you need to lay your base coat, and what I'm going to do for the base, I'm going to use a mix of brown, tan, and a little gold in there as well, so just like kind of some striping. Just needs to be sort of random on there. And then we're going to take some cotton here. I've just got some cotton balls that I'm kind of stretching out, and you're basically, I'm not sure how well this is going to work though, because this cotton balls that I was able to find here in Korea are not exactly like kind of what I've seen other people using. They're like really super thin, and so I'm not sure how well it's gonna work. But then you need to just basically stretch that over the top of the part there, and then you're gonna spray the main color over the top of that, and then so that'll make the kind of like striping, kind of random looking striping bits on there. That'll make it look like marble. So then the top color that I'm gonna use, I'm just gonna use like kind of an off-white, I think, for that. So like it looks like it's like off-white marble within like the striping bits being sort of like a brown, tan, and gold kind of colors in there. So that's how it's ideally gonna look. But let's go ahead and just spray the base colors down first. Alright, so that cotton that I had was just way too thin. It was just blowing away when I was trying to spray this. I could have maybe tried lowering the air pressure a ton on the airbrush, but what I think I maybe just need to do in the future is just try to get some proper cotton balls. Those ones that I got are like the medical ones. They come in this container that they're like wet when you pull them out, so I had to leave them out, let them dry. But anyway, I went around to a bunch of different stores trying to just find any cotton balls at all, and those are the only ones that I could find. So I think what I'm going to do, try to shop online, try to get some better cotton balls, and I'll maybe try again that in the future. But so what I did there, as you guys saw, is I just put a little some liquid mask on here instead, and hopefully it worked out, but we'll see. So basically this liquid mask, you can just rub it away with your fingers here, and it's not going to have the same look, unfortunately, but if it's gonna look at least halfway alright, then hopefully that'll be okay. So this should just come off. I think the difference that you're gonna have with this liquid mask compared to the cotton is that you're gonna have more defined edges of where you got paint and where you're not, whereas with the cotton you'll have like kind of softer edges. I don't know, maybe there was a better way to do this with liquid mask that would have looked better, but the way that I did it, the way that it's coming out, it just sort of looks like the paint is just scratched off, sort of, which is not really looking that good. So I'm gonna see if there's something that I can do. Get this all off first, and see if I can maybe think of a different idea, something else to do. In the meantime, I'm not too sure about this. Oh, okay, that looks pretty not good. So it's not exactly what I was going for at all. And so I think I'm just gonna say no marble for this kit at this point in time, and I'm just going to repaint this. So hang on a minute. Alright, so after the failed marble attempt and then trying something else and then trying something else and having to repaint, it's got about 5 coats of paint on here now, and finally I think I'm just going to stick with this as it is, and no marble this time. We're going to just cancel that, at least for the time being. I think the floor looks good. I mean, like the shading on there and just the overall texture and everything looks nice. So I'm happy with that. It's just, yeah, we'll just have to try out the marble next time. So I'll have to see if I can get some better cotton. And then also, I know there's another technique that you can do using like saran wrap or like the plastic sticky kitchen wrap. I know you can try that as well. So I'll maybe try out that technique as well. That wasn't the technique. I mean, it gives you a little bit different look, and that's not what I was going for with this, but I'll try that out in a future video. But for the time being, I mean, it's just a good lesson in sometimes stuff just doesn't work out and you have to improvise and just try to make it work. And in this case, I think it did work out because, like I said, I'm happy with how this ultimately came out. There it is, installed in the base there. So just a good lesson in that when you fail at something, don't get too discouraged because you can still salvage it. So just keep working at it. And ultimately, I think it came out looking pretty good. So that means this kit is finally done. The kit has been done for a long time, but now that the base is done, I can show you guys the finished product. So that will be in an upcoming video very soon. I'll show you guys the final reveal of the Vigna Ghina. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below. Please, in the comment section, if you do have advice about doing some marble painting, feel free to leave that down below if you have experience or any useful advice you'd like to share. Happy to hear that. So thank you in advance. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.